There is something about true beauty that the world does not understand. Society tells us that youth is about smooth skin, about the absence of wrinkles, about how well we can hide the passing of time. But the truth, the deeper, more lasting truth, is that real youthfulness is not just about what's on the outside, but what's happening on the inside. Think about the people in your life who seem untouched by time. They may not have the perfect skin or the latest beauty treatments, yet there is something about them that makes them look radiant, vibrant, and full of life. Their eyes shine with a certain light. Their presence fills a room with warmth. Their energy is contagious, and no matter how many birthdays they celebrate, they seem to defy the very concept of aging. This is because true beauty does not start with the skin, it starts with the spirit. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 27:19, as water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. What is happening in your heart will eventually be reflected on your face. If your heart is filled with bitterness, it will show. If your mind is weighed down by worry, it will leave a mark. But if your heart is filled with love, with faith, with joy, that too will shine through. There is something powerful about a person who walks in peace, who carries kindness, who radiates the love of Christ. It is the kind of beauty that cannot be bought, that no surgery or treatment can replicate. We live in a world obsessed with appearances. Billions of dollars are spent on anti-aging products, on cosmetics, on procedures to turn back time. But no cream can soften a heart hardened by resentment. No treatment can restore a soul that has been weighed down by years of fear and anxiety. The secret to lasting youth is not in a bottle. It is in how you live, in how you love, in how deeply you allow God's peace to dwell within you. When you carry joy, it lifts you, it changes you, it lightens the burdens that try to weigh you down. The book of Nehemiah tells us, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10. That means joy is not just a feeling, it is a source of power. It sustains you, it strengthens you, it refreshes you from the inside out. Have you ever noticed how someone with a joyful heart looks younger than their years? It is because joy has a way of softening the face, of brightening the eyes, of bringing life where there was once exhaustion. And this joy does not come from worldly success. It does not come from having the perfect life, the perfect family, or the perfect situation. No. This joy comes from knowing God, from trusting Him, from resting in the truth that He is in control. The world tells you to stress, to strive, to chase after things that do not last. But God tells you to be still and know that He is God. He tells you to trust Him, to release your burdens to Him, to let go of the weight of worry. And when you do, when you truly let go, you will find that your body, your mind, and even your appearance begin to reflect that peace. There is a reason why those who live in love and faith seem to age differently. It is because they are not carrying what the world carries. They are not holding on to past wounds, to anger, to stress that wears down the body and mind. Instead, they have released it to God. They have surrendered their fears, their anxieties, their battles into His hands. And in return, God has filled them with a lightness, with a radiance, with a peace that surpasses all understanding. So the next time you wonder why people tell you that you look younger than your age, remember this. It is not just about how you take care of your body. It is about how you take care of your spirit. And when your heart is aligned with God, when your soul is at rest in Him, that is when your true beauty shines, untouched by time. Joy and gratitude have a power that most people underestimate. They are not just emotions, they are a way of life a force that shapes not only your heart, but also your very appearance. Have you ever noticed how some people, no matter their age, seem to have an energy about them? Their eyes shine, their skin glows, and their presence is full of life. It's not just genetics. It's not just good skin care. It's the power of joy and gratitude working from the inside out. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 15:13, a merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. This means that what happens in your heart eventually shows up on your face. You can use the best beauty products in the world, but if your heart is heavy with worry, resentment, or regret, it will wear on you. Stress, negativity, and bitterness do something to a person. They add weight to the soul. They deepen the lines on the face, not just physically, but spiritually. They steal the light from the eyes and the life from the voice. But joy lifts you. It softens you. It renews you in ways that nothing else can. Think about the people in your life who always seem to radiate positivity. They smile easily, they laugh freely, they are grateful for what they have rather than bitter about what they lack, and as a result they appear younger, not just in body but in spirit. Science confirms what Scripture has told us all along. Stress accelerates aging, while gratitude and joy have the power to slow it down. Those who focus on what is good, who live in a state of thanksgiving, who refuse to let life's trials steal their peace, often experience better health, more energy, and a vitality that people can't quite explain. But joy and gratitude are not just about feeling happy when everything is going well. No, true joy is found in trusting God even when things don't go as planned. It is about knowing deep in your heart that no matter what happens, God is in control. It's about waking up each morning with a grateful heart, even when challenges arise. When you live in that kind of faith, your stress decreases, your burdens lighten, and your spirit lifts. And people notice. They see something different in you. They can't put their finger on it, but they know there's something about you that makes you look radiant, full of peace, full of life. That's because joy and gratitude aren't just attitudes. They are supernatural gifts from God. They are the result of knowing Him, of trusting Him, of walking in His promises. When you stop chasing after things that do not satisfy, when you stop worrying about what you cannot control, and instead thank God for all He has already done, something shifts inside of you. And that shift shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in how you glow with an inner beauty that no earthly thing can give. Philippians 4:6-7 tells us, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Do you see it? There is a connection between thanksgiving and peace, between gratitude and the removal of anxiety. And when you live in that space, when you allow yourself to trust fully in God, the effects ripple through every part of your being, your mind, your soul, and even your body. People chase youth through worldly means, trying to preserve their appearance through external solutions. But the real secret to looking and feeling younger isn't found in what you put on your skin. It's found in what you cultivate in your heart. When you choose joy, when you practice gratitude, when you let go of what weighs you down and focus on the goodness of God, you will shine in a way that no one can quite explain. And that glow, that light, that beauty, it will not fade with time because it is rooted in something eternal. Faith is one of the greatest gifts God has given us. And it is also one of the most powerful forces that shape our lives, both spiritually and physically. When a person lives with faith, there is a noticeable difference in their demeanor, their attitude, and even their appearance. There is something about someone who trusts God completely, who walks with a peace that surpasses all understanding, that makes them appear refreshed, renewed, and even younger than their years. Faith is not just a belief, it is a way of life, a force that lifts burdens, removes stress, and fills a person with the kind of peace that radiates from the inside out. Jesus told us in Matthew 6:27, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" Worry is one of the greatest enemies of youthfulness. Stress, anxiety, and constant fear about the future create more damage to the body than most people realize. Science has proven that chronic stress releases hormones that accelerate aging, weaken the immune system, and even cause physical deterioration. But faith in God, true and unwavering faith, has the opposite effect. When you trust that He is in control, when you surrender your fears and worries to Him, your body responds. Your mind is clearer, your spirit is lighter. Your face reflects the peace you carry within. There are people who go through incredible trials, yet they seem untouched by the weight of the world. They smile even in difficult seasons. They remain hopeful even when others would have given up. And when you ask them their secret, they don't mention diets or exercise routines. They talk about their faith. They talk about their trust in God, about how they refuse to let worry steal their joy. They know that no matter what happens, their life is in the hands of the one who holds the universe together. And that kind of trust, that kind of confidence in God manifests itself in ways that even the human eye can see. Faith is a decision. It is choosing every single day to believe that God is who He says He is, that His promises are true, and that He will never forsake you. And when you walk in that kind of faith, the burdens of this world do not weigh you down the way they do for those who live in fear. Think about how children live. They do not worry about tomorrow because they trust that their parents will provide for them. Jesus told us to have faith like a child, Matthew 18:03, and when we do, we experience that same freedom, that same lightness, that same sense of joy that makes life full and beautiful. Faith allows you to release the things that age you. Bitterness, unforgiveness, anger, these are the things that harden a person, that add stress, that wear them down from the inside out. But when you live by faith, you forgive easily, you let go of offenses, you refuse to hold on to things that do not serve you, and in return, God fills you with His peace, a peace that is visible, a peace that is reflected in your very being. Isaiah 26:03 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." That perfect peace is not just for a moment, it is for a lifetime. And when you live in that peace, you experience life in a way that most people only dream of. You wake up with a sense of purpose. You face challenges without fear. You embrace each day with hope. And that kind of life, the life of faith, is one that not only renews your spirit, but keeps you looking and feeling younger than you ever imagined. The company you keep has a profound effect on your spirit, your emotions, and even your physical well-being. Have you ever noticed how being around certain people makes you feel lighter, happier, and more alive, while others drain you, burden you, and leave you feeling exhausted? The relationships in your life shape you in ways you may not even realize. They influence your thoughts, your outlook on life, and even the way you carry yourself. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 13:20, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Who you surround yourself with matters, not just spiritually, but emotionally and physically as well. There are people whose very presence brings life. They speak words of encouragement. They remind you of God's promises. They lift your spirit when you are weary. These are the people who help you walk in joy, who help you hold on to your faith, who make life feel lighter even in difficult seasons. And when you are consistently surrounded by that kind of life-giving energy, it affects you deeply. It reduces stress, strengthens your faith, and keeps your heart filled with joy. And as we have already seen, joy and peace are two of the greatest factors in maintaining a youthful spirit. On the other hand, there are relationships that steal your peace, that fill you with doubt, anxiety, and negativity. When you spend too much time with people who constantly complain, who always focus on what's wrong, who live in bitterness and unforgiveness, that kind of energy begins to take a toll on you. Stress accumulates. Your heart grows weary. The weight of negativity starts to show in your face, in your posture, in your very being. What you absorb from those around you will eventually manifest in your life. That is why it is so important to be intentional about the company you keep. Think about the people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow in faith, who encourage you to trust in God, even when times are tough. These are the people who will help you keep your spirit young, your heart full of peace, and your mind focused on the things that truly matter. The Apostle Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. If you want to walk in the joy, faith, and peace that make life vibrant and full, you must be careful about who you allow into your inner circle. Even Jesus was intentional about his relationships. Though he ministered to the crowds, he kept a small group of close friends, people who shared in his mission, who strengthened one another, who walked in faith together. He spent time with those who lifted him in prayer, who sought after God's will, who believed in his purpose. And if Jesus himself was intentional about the relationships he nurtured, how much more should we be? When you surround yourself with people who live in faith, who practice gratitude, who walk in joy, it becomes easier for you to do the same. Their energy lifts you. Their words strengthen you. Their presence brings peace rather than stress. And over time, that peace, that joy, that faithfulness to God begins to show not just in your heart, but in your life, in your relationships, and even in the way you carry yourself. Choosing the right company is not just about avoiding negativity. It's about surrounding yourself with people who reflect the light of God. When you do that, you will find that your burdens feel lighter, your joy is deeper, and your spirit remains youthful no matter how many years pass. And that kind of joy, that kind of peace, is one of the greatest secrets to a life that is full, not just in spirit, but in strength, in energy, and in the kind of beauty that does not fade with time. A life of purpose is one of the greatest gifts God has given us. When you live with a sense of divine purpose, it fills you with a strength and energy that sustains you even in difficult times. There is something about knowing that your life has meaning, that you are here for a reason, that God has placed you on this earth with a specific mission. That knowledge transforms the way you live. It gives you direction, it fills you with passion, and it even affects the way you look and carry yourself. People who live with purpose have a light in their eyes, a fire in their spirit, a sense of vitality that makes them seem younger than their years. They do not wander through life aimlessly. They do not waste time dwelling on regrets. They wake up each morning with excitement, knowing that every day is an opportunity to walk in the calling God has placed on their life. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. When you truly believe that, when you know deep in your soul that God has a plan for you, it changes everything. You no longer live in fear of the future. You no longer feel burdened by the past. You step into each day with confidence, knowing that your life is in the hands of the one who created the universe. That kind of faith, that kind of purpose fills you with a supernatural energy that defies age and circumstances. Look at the people around you who live with a sense of purpose. They have a different energy about them. Their passion keeps them active. Their focus keeps them engaged. They don't just go through the motions of life. They live with intention, with excitement, with drive. And that inner fire keeps them strong, keeps them youthful, keeps them moving forward no matter how many years pass. On the other hand, those who live without purpose, who drift from one thing to another without a sense of direction, often feel weary, lost, and drained. They age faster, not just in body but in spirit, because they are not anchored in something greater than themselves. When you understand that God has created you for a reason, that He has given you gifts and talents to use for His glory, it changes the way you see yourself. You are not just here to exist. You are here to make an impact. You are here to love, to serve, to encourage, to build, to create, to spread the message of hope and faith. And when you walk in that truth, when you live with that kind of purpose, it gives you an energy that cannot be explained. It fills you with motivation, with resilience, with a joy that makes you glow from the inside out. Jesus Himself lived with divine purpose. Every step He took, every word He spoke, every action He performed was intentional. He did not waste time in worry or fear. He did not hesitate in uncertainty. He knew His mission, and He fulfilled it with passion and dedication. And when we follow His example, when we seek God's will for our lives and pursue it wholeheartedly, we experience that same renewal, that same supernatural strength, that same unwavering joy. A person who walks in purpose does not dwell on the limitations of age. They do not count the years with fear. They wake up each morning with gratitude, ready to step into whatever God has for them. They know that as long as they are alive, there is still work to do, still people to bless, still a calling to fulfill. And that attitude, that determination to keep moving forward in faith, is one of the greatest secrets to a life that is vibrant, youthful, and full of the kind of beauty that never fades. Life is not measured by the number of years we live, but by the way we live them. A heart full of faith, a mind filled with peace, relationships that uplift, a sense of purpose that drives us. These are the things that keep us truly alive, truly youthful, truly strong in spirit and body. The world tells us that aging is something to fear, something to fight against, something to slow down, but God's Word tells us otherwise. Psalm 92:12-14 reminds us that the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green. When you live with faith, when you release stress and worry, when you surround yourself with life-giving people, when you walk in your divine purpose, it transforms you from the inside out. You radiate a peace that cannot be explained. You carry a joy that makes you stand out. You reflect the light of Christ in a way that is visible to everyone around you. And that kind of life, that kind of trust in God, keeps you renewed, strong, and full of life no matter how many years pass. So today I encourage you to embrace the truths that keep you young, not just in body but in spirit. Seek God first. Let go of worry. Walk with those who encourage you. Live with purpose. And above all, trust that the God who created you, who formed you in your mother's womb, who knows the number of your days, has given you everything you need to live a life that is full, vibrant, and overflowing with His goodness.